their Motorhead influences on their sleeve, the version of Overkill. Lemmy Kilmister, by the way, is going to be, he'll be dead 9 years. Right before the end of the year. He died a few days after his birthday. His birthday was Christmas Eve, and he died on December 28th, 2015. It's been a big week for ashes, by the way. OJ got cremated, and his cremains given to his kids, per his wishes to do with, I guess, whatever they see fit. And now James Hetfield. You know, last time we heard directly from James Hetfield, he was hosting the MMS Eclipse Day coverage. Remember that? We were live at Progressive Field. It was the Guardians' opening day, and it was the day of the eclipse. And we had James Hetfield doing a lot of stuff for us on the Buzzard. It was an amazing day all the way around. Literally a once-in-a-human-lifetime event. The Guardians crushed by the Chicago White Sox. And it was a lot of fun all the way around. But I digress. James Hetfield has gotten a new tattoo with Lemmy's ashes in it. He got Lemmy's cremated ashes tattooed into his middle finger. I mean, that's pretty metal, I guess, right? On the front. So now he can just flip everybody off and have some of Lemmy's ashes in his finger. Whose ashes would you have put into a tattoo? Put onto your body?
Weird.
I'm sorry?
That's creepy. And
Oh, really? You wouldn't have like a family member that you lost prematurely or? Really?
when they're like in your skin.
What's the matter with that? It's
That's weird.
it's organic material.
Yeah, but I don't want that.
I mean, people with tattoos are getting just ink injected into their bodies. But when you want something that's, you wouldn't have your dad's ashes put into a tattoo and, no.
No.
Okay. I mean, I don't have any tattoos. But if somebody was like, you
What
know,
about like a pet? You want to do a pet ashes?
No.
no, like if my dad had been cremated,
Yeah, I'd put your
I
dad
would have
by tattoo.
considered that. Huh?
I'd put your dad by tattoo.
Shut up, Bill.
What? You asked.
You put my dad in your tattoo.
Yep.
Well, my dad wasn't cremated.
Your mom's name.
He was buried. No, we don't cremate in my family. I think I will be the first generation to cremate in our family. You know, you grow up Catholic, and they that's changed too, but not in my family. I mean, everybody is going to get buried. Once you buy those plots, they got to put you in the ground. You'd get my mom's name with my dad's ashes in a tattoo?
Yep.
What's my mom's name?
Uh,
What's my dad's name?
Lavernica.
Is that my mom or my Lavernica?
Yeah. What's your mom's name? I know this.
She's called the show.
I know.
Grace.
No, not Grace.
That's my daughter's name.
Does it start with a B?
It does start with a B. You're
Brenda.
warm. I'm
No,
sorry?
it's not Brenda.
Brenda.
It's not
Is it
Bonnie.
Bonnie?
It's Bonnie. Is my mom's
Yeah.
name. Benita Marie Cox. Well, Bain was her married name. Or maiden name, rather, yes. What was my dad's name?
Your dad's name is like
Laverne.
No.
Latrice.
No, it's a very southern name.
Yeah.
You're not going to land on it.
Lonnie.
But it was. I'm sorry?
Lonnie.
Why are you sticking with the L names? Because he
said
started
L.
you on Lavernica?
What's it start with?
Starts with a C.
Oh.
Cornelius.
There's
It's,
an L in it, and maybe that's what's throwing you off.
Colonel.
No, it's
Claire Dell was my
Claire
dad's
Dell,
name.
that's
Yes,
right.
That's right. Claire Dell. Yeah.
Well, what did he go by?
He
didn't go
went by
Cla-
Craig his whole
Craig,
life,
yeah,
yes.
okay.
Somebody called him that in college. I don't know why, but that stuck. His signature was C.C. Cox, but his given name was Claire Dell Krigler. His mother's maiden name was his middle name, Cox. A very southern name, but I never heard anybody call him Claire Dell. People in his family called him Shug, because that was a southern. Hey, Shug. He'd get, my sister named her Chihuahua Shug after my dad's nickname. Anyway, James Hetfield, new tattoo with Lemmy's ashes in it. I like that. I think that's cool.
I would totally get a Lemmy tattoo.
Yeah.
Lemmy Ashes tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do an OJ one, but Lemmy, yeah.
Well, what's the matter with that?
That's a good conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean, hey, what's that tattoo? It looks brand new. It's just black ink. You go, yeah. This is my friend's.
This is Lemmy. There's some Lemmy dust in here, and let me tell you more about it.
Let me tell you more about it. Al, did you see some guy set himself on fire outside the courthouse with the Trump trial? I did see that, but I couldn't tell if it was pro or con. The dude, a couple hours ago, was yelling, screaming something, and then he
light yourself on fire!
Set himself ablaze, and they run over. Obviously, there's a massive group of reporters there already, and now there's the lengths people will go to get on television. And this guy was screaming and yelling, and then he just becomes like a twitching, charred mess as they run over to put the guy out. But now we got ourselves a trial. We've already got a guy setting himself on fire. Alan, what's your stepdad's name? You son of a bitch.
Bill Squire.
How dare you?
With the quickness.
How dare you?
Hey guys, Albert here. A couple of days behind. I was listening to Mary complain and be cranky when people talk about having sex, saying it makes her feel, her words, uncomfortable. I'm just wondering if she can now put herself in the shoes of when she was doing her dead dad jokes, hilarious by the way, and people would kind of tell her that it was bad and wrong and made them feel uncomfortable, and she would piss and moan about it. But yet, we gotta cover your ears, Mary. When people talk about putting a pee-pee in a vagina, that's weird and gross. I don't know. I don't care. It's all funny. Do what you want to do. Fart your farts. Love you guys. Bye.
Well, he's right. I had to clean up so much piss in here when Mary was still doing the show and complaining about it.
It's upsetting.
Does that guy have a point?
Not really.
Okay.
Because it makes me look bad. No.
Hey, this whole thing makes all of us look bad, all right? That ship has sailed.
My point of being uncomfortable when people talk about sex was it in conversation. I'm not cracking dead dad jokes amongst mixed company. I'm not doing that.
You're not trying them out on people?
No. I mean, that's done on stage at a comedy show. And I've said that when people do sex jokes on stage, they're more than entitled to do that. I just leave the room. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
If I were cracking joke after joke after joke about my dad being dead at at a party or on the show or whatever, that would be a different story. But that wasn't the case for it.
So you're drawing the distinction between...
He's talking about stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I was talking about in everyday life. Talking about sex all the time makes me
Well,
uncomfortable.
but you were talking about on this show. Like when we're off the air, Bill and I aren't talking about sex. This is all a performance.
No, I
So
was talking,
to me, this is no different than if you were on stage talking about.
That's not how the conversation started. The
Okay.
conversation started with me saying I was working on a new bit about being uncomfortable when people talk about sex.
Right.
That's how this whole thing started.
You mean in casual conversation?
In casual conversation.
Friends giving you
how-
graphic details of.
Yes,
Right,
how that
'cause it
makes
makes
me
you
uncomfortable.
horny.
No, because I picture people doing it. It makes me feel weird when people talk about that. That was the entire
So depending on the
start of this
people
conversation.
that's talking about it, then sometimes it probably does make you horny. Though.
Yeah, but then
hot.
but then the ripple effect where you said like I don't like when you and Bill get on that.
No, I said that you guys do it all the time, and I just stay quiet. I don't prefer it, no, but
Because
you
right, but then I asked why, and you said because I have to picture you guys having sex.
right.
Would it be better if you had to picture Bill and I having sex with each other?
So much worse. So I think
I'll give you something to cry about.
There's a difference between what he's saying because, like I said, when it comes to stand-up, sure, do whatever your thing is. I don't have to be in the room for it.
Okay. All right.
But
Well,
when it comes to talking amongst friends, I get uncomfortable with sex talk.
Okay. Well, there you go. I guess he's drawing a comparison. Alan, that guy who set himself on fire was throwing pamphlets out about Ponzi schemes and screaming about how all the major universities are mob fronts. Okay, so he wanted to be on television then. It really had nothing to do with Trump. He was like, every reporter in the city is going to be outside this courthouse. That's where I'll go.
That's what I kind of figured.
And set myself on fire. Okay. That's pretty wild. Let me talk to Ian. He is down in Florida. What's going on, Ian?
Hey, Alan. Yeah, if I was going to get a tattoo, I would get the ashes of Hervé Villachez, if I remember his name correctly, who was tattooed on Fantasy Island.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, he was. Hervé Villachez. Yeah, he was. God, what was that documentary about him a couple years ago? They did a documentary on him called, like, My Life with, oh, God, what was it? Did anybody watch that? This guy was, he was Tattoo, for people who remember the show, Fantasy Island.
The plane guy.
The plane. He played Tattoo. And he was a tiny guy, and he died at 50. He was French. And, yeah. You'd get a tattoo of Tattoo.
Well, with his ashes in it.
With his ashes. How would you procure his ashes?
Yeah. Well, you know, this only just came to me, but I don't know how he died or what, you know, all the circumstances. But if you're going to get a tattoo, I don't have any tattoos. You're going to use someone's ashes, it's got to be tattooed.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty meta. But I'll allow it. Okay, thank you, Ian. There's Ian checking in from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Appreciate it, pal. Yeah, Hervé Villachez was another guy who insisted on being called a midget. You know, that's considered to be, that's not the preferred nomenclature anymore. It's supposed to be like little people. My thought is always, I would ask someone what they like to be called. He hated when people would call him a dwarf. He wanted to be called a midget.
And that's what you call him.
But he's been dead for 30 years now. I mean, he's been gone a long time. And I think he probably lived longer than anybody thought he would. But he was born a dwarf.
He said, don't call that.
Well, but the condition is called dwarfism. It's not called midgetism,
There's
right?
different. Well, not everyone that is little is a dwarf.
Well, that's what he said. He didn't want it.
Some of them are elves.
Elves. Do you live in a tree? Call me an elf one more time, friend.
He's an angry elf.
Angry elf. Peter Dinklage in the movie Elf. I wonder what he likes to be called. I've never met or interviewed Peter Dinklage, but you ever known or met a very small person?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
My my stepbrother's wife, so my stepsister-in-law, her brother is a little person.
Okay.
My dad used to pick him up.
Like genetically, not just a short Tom Cruise guy.
No, genetically.
Yeah.
My dad used to, you know how sensitive and woke my dad was.
Okay.
My dad would hurl insults and pick him up and spin him around and all kinds of stuff like that.
See, the tough thing too that I don't think a lot of people realize is a lot of these people who are dwarves like that, the stuff in their body is normal size. So like Hervé Villachez killed himself, right? Because he was in so much pain all the time because his organs were normal size. And so he has this tiny body with these normal size organs that are like just putting pressure on his body all the time. Like this guy would sleep in a kneeling position because he couldn't get comfortable anymore. So he was 50. He lasted a while, but he took himself out when he was 50. I've never met or known.
But he jump off
Brad
a picnic
Williams.
table.
Have you met the comic Brad Williams?
No.
I've met Brad. He's a nice guy.
I haven't.
Yeah.
He doesn't scratch me where I itch, so I've just never delved into that. But no, I've never met him. But people seem to like him, right?
Very popular.
Yeah. Okay, so no parallel to be drawn between the dead dad jokes and you not liking the sexy stuff.
It's different situations. I was saying in conversation, which is mostly what we do here, is have conversations. Although, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, that it is a platform and it is a performance. but it's not the same as we're not doing, as contrary to popular belief, we're not doing written material.
Gotcha.
This is more
My
to
line,
me of a
my line.
conversation.
Yeah, since you always rip
Sorry.
up the scripts I send you, Mary, you're not the
I'm
only one
tired
writing
of it.
scripts here, you know.
Listen,
I sweat over these things.
I know you do.
Thank you.
I
A
just
lot of
don't
people weighing
appreciate
in the subject of you getting sponsored, by the way.
it. Oh, how do we do it? Are any of them Nike?
No, I mean, my favorite text is, Mary is sober. Doesn't she already have a sponsor?
I
like it.
They don't pay me anything.
If Mary would just expand her mind on OnlyFans, she could get sponsored by Arby's roast beef sandwiches.
Give up the OnlyFans. Give it up.
Hello, Jeff.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Alan?
Hanging in.
So I'm calling because I was just hearing your conversation about, little people, dwarf, midget, and I just want to let you know that, like, you're wondering what you should call certain ones or whatever. Well, my girl's 4'6", and she likes to be called Jessica. I mean, do you think maybe they just prefer to be called by their name?
Well,
Well,
they don't know their name.
obviously, you would be introduced to them by their name, but I would be taking a natural interest in what they prefer, because it wouldn't be one thing, right? I mean, how did you meet Jessica?
I met her through a dating app.
Is 4'6" a midget?
I think anything under 4'10" is.
Is that
Anything
true?
under 4'9".
How tall are
Yeah,
you?
4'9",
You
something
can
like that.
actually. I'm 5'10".
Yeah, that would freak me out. God bless you.
Why? Brian's 6'1" and I'm 5'2".
But
That's
such a
11 inches
disparity.
different.
No, 4'6" and
difference.
5'10"?
That's he said he was how tall are you? You're 5'10"?
Yeah, he said 5'10".
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a foot and 4 inches. That would be like if I dated someone who was 6'5".
It's not bad. I mean, she's cute. She doesn't have dwarfism either. She's just
little.
but she's proportionate.
All right,
But yeah,
well,
I mean, most of them prefer to be called by their name. They would wish that there wasn't just like,
Well, then wear
there's
name
certain
tags.
stereotype thing. You would rather be called by your name than a stereotype. That's just stereotyping somebody for their height. Can't control that.
yeah.
Hey, I get called big boy and white boy and all that stuff,
Well, you are big and white. I mean, you're
I
not wrong,
understand.
you
I
know.
understand. I don't get mad
Yeah.
about it.
No, I was merely
Hey, Bill, would you rather? Go ahead.
No, I was merely going to say that I would be genuinely curious how they would want to be referred to. And I would imagine most of them would go,
Well,
I don't care, you know.
Well, it depends in the context. I mean, it depends on how close you are to the person. You're friends with the person. If you're, whatever. There's, short jokes that I pull with her, but they're all in loving fun. It's not like I'm laughing at her. I'm laughing with her. And I feel like it depends on that situation. Like, as long as you're not making it a derogatory remark, that, it depends on how sensitive the person is and how they feel about that. But you got to understand that they've been growing up short their whole life, that, they heard everything in the book. So it's almost like they don't even like to acknowledge that they're short. And that's her issue.
Well, because, it's old. It's like when somebody's like, Billy Squire, yeah. And like, yeah, I've heard
So
all the
you
jokes,
never worked
man.
that into the dirty talk, Jeff. Take it, you
I
tiny
mean,
hoe or whatever,
yeah.
anything like that?
I'm sure you've seen Deadpool, correct?
I have.
Okay, the part where he gets his hand cut off in the thing?
I mean, I don't remember it line by line, but I did see it,
Well, he basically tells his blind roommate that she's going to have to leave the room because it's going to feel much bigger in his hand.
Oh, right. His hands
No,
start
yeah.
out really tiny when they grow back or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Congratulations on your little girlfriend. I have to take a break here. Want to go see, what do I got at 4:20? Oh, Alan Ruck. Parma Heights, Parma Senior High